Hey, Bryce here, and today I'm talking with Daniel Lirette, the founder and CEO of the GrowDoc App, an app that helps growers diagnose deficiencies in their plant. He's been on CBC Radio, Huddle, and Entrevestor, and today he's here with us.
Thank you for having this conversation with me today. I'm excited to learn more about the GrowDoc App. When was the app first conceived of?
Yeah, so it started back in 2019. I just got this idea from seeing another app doing wheat and corn, and they were doing that in India and having lots of success. So I was like, wow, okay, if they can do it, then, it's possible in cannabis. And I figured, okay, well, somebody must already be doing this, because I had grown before and I had all these issues, and I was just going on websites, and low quality images for me just wasn't helping me diagnose what was wrong. So, I did my research and looked it up and didn't find anything. So I was like, you know what? Like I'm working at a tech company. I've got the background. I could do it.
Would you say that you developed the GrowDoc for experienced growers or new growers or both? What would you say?
Yeah, originally the first focus, which is what we kind of replicated in-house with the experiments, is we were focusing on the first-time growers, underwatering. We did some overwatering, root rot, and that sort of thing. But now as we're moving forward and the research is coming to play, we're more focused on the experienced growers, especially with this new virus study that's kind of a thing. Everybody's got their stuff dialed in after you start getting good at it, and these are now the next steps of things that could happen. You just pop a seed and all of a sudden, is this a mutation or do I have a virus? That's kind of the next step, and that's kind of where we're heading.
When somebody uses your app for the first time and they've been given a diagnosis, or they're suspecting a diagnosis, how do they find out what to do next to remedy the issue, fix the problem?
Yeah, so the app will give a diagnosis, and then you'll have a screen where it shows you similar pictures to that diagnosis. And those pictures come from the research that we're getting or those experiments that we did in-house. So that way you can really be like, yeah, that's like, it looks really like what I have. Got this. And then we detailed information on the bottom, which is the remedy. And we always take the approach of giving the most organic matter. So we take into consideration that the effectiveness, because sometimes using predator mites and predator bugs is very organic, but at the same time, if you have a big infestation, it might take too long, and then you're too close to harvest. So we kind of take these things and we kind of write a solution that's most organic but efficient at the same time.
So based on your research to date, would you say it would be the most common pest infestation that you're seeing, or the most common cannabis deficiencies that you're seeing? Okay,
so to start off with the pest infestation, I would say that thrips and fungus gnats are probably the most popular, and then following aphids and spider mites not too far behind. And then as for deficiencies, phosphorus is one that comes up quite often, and then nitrogen as well. For toxicities, we're seeing nitrogen toxicity, a really big one as well for what's being scanned in our app.
Would you say is the worst cannabis pest to get?
It's absolutely spider mites. They get on the buds and they spider webs, and it's just too far. We're lucky here we didn't get to have them in-house. Randy Fleming is our advisor, and he had them in his grow, and he kind of saved the plant for us and let it get worse in his little garage, so that it was cool for us to go there and document it, but not have to bring it home or have it.
Right, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, that's not what we would want to bring.
So you guys have been faithful users of Future Harvest Nutrients for a while. We've had a relationship between our two companies, and I was just wondering if there's any kind of thoughts that you have about using our products, any products that stand out to you.
We've been using the Future Harvest since 2020. You guys have been great. You guys even donated some nutrients to the research that covered that part there, because we needed them individually. It wasn't just bottled nutrients. We needed the powder of each one. So that was super. The biggest product, I think, from you guys that made a huge difference, that's not a big deal, but it is a big deal when you're dealing with it. It's probably the lids. Lids for the buckets. We have other ones. The Alfred are kind of too thin and too small. So if you're growing, when you're growing a hydro, they grow quickly. And if you want to grow a decent plant, what the problem we were running into is it's tipping over all the time with the Alfred top. And the Future Harvest just gave the best seal around and the most, weight to it, the sturdiness, I should say. So that was a big one that you don't think of, but the nutrients, other than that, they grow well. Plants, there's no deficiencies that show up. We just follow the chart.
As a grower, personally, I think it's super handy to have a product like this out there. I remember when I was starting to grow, I was just watching my plants like a hawk all the time, really worried about if there's a male in there at all. Is there any kind of like AI in there to identify like sexing and stuff like that?
Yeah, exactly. We do have the male-female identifier. That's a feature in our premium version where you can take a picture of the nodes and then get a diagnosis on if it's a male or female. And that's something we were recently just working with Cornell University, their students.
Like I understand in the lab you can do stuff from like genetics, right? But it's hard for the visual grower, especially the new grower too, because so many of the message boards are filled with kind of confusing information about
you can get different answers from people as well.
And just in terms of where to find the app, if I'm using a Google device, where do I head to find the app? Just Google Play Store?
Yeah, you just head to Google Play, and if you're on iOS, you just head to the App Store. Our apps are available there, free for download, free for use, and then if you want the subscription for the unlimited usage with male, female, then that's the premium version.
Perfect. Thanks so much for doing this today and sitting down and talking with me about it. I'm going to definitely get the app after this interview. Is there anything more that you would like to discuss or say? I know you guys we can find you on social media.
Yeah, you guys can find us. We're on Instagram, CANNABIS, Facebook, we're on Pinterest as well. For those the business people that were on LinkedIn as well, those are our active platforms that we're on, and we'll be posting what goes on, like the study, the research, all that on our social media.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dan. And it's been great to talk to you.
Thanks, Bryce.